for you is, did anything in your childhood inspire you to do your own comic book?
Well, um, I've never been much of a comics fan, but I've always been a huge manga and anime guy. So I've been a big fan of Cartoon Network stuff. Right, every 5 seconds, Cartoon Network's dropping some new anime or something like that, and that kind of wrangled me into the whole thing. Comic books wasn't my path. Like I wasn't like, oh man, I'll be a comic book developer one day, right? I was like, I'm gonna be a video game developer. I was a huge video game fanatic, still am, right? And but video games are expensive, so
Yeah.
so it wasn't the least resistant path, right? I was like, you got to get some real credibility to get into this space. But with comics, I can make a comic for like $5,000, whatever, right? Test the market for my story that I was gonna make into a video game and see what happens. So from there, we did Kids to Kings in 2000, 17. We did our Kickstarter there, and haven't looked back since. We've been dominating ever since. And now became that comic book guy, right? All of a sudden, I'm this guy that does comic books better than everybody else, and I'm like, it's more of a I just tell stories. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's amazing. I wasn't, yeah, so that's kind of different. You actually wanted to get into video game. I'm a video game head too, myself, because like I got the just got the Switch because I wanted Marvel and all that.
Yeah.
But let me keep it to the topic. Sorry. Uh, when in your life did you start learning about comedic history and what made you use it in your story?
Well, I've always been a huge history buff. So I've been a history buff almost my entire life. I love ancient history, which almost always centers around wars, right? Just in general, that's like the most notable moments of almost every civilization is the wars they were in. And one thing that drove me nuts was every time I they talked about Egypt, right? Kemet they always first they always whitewashed it, which is just annoying, right? But then they also they never talked about the fact that Egypt was like the center of the world at the time, and like they did nonstop business, trade, war, whatever with every other nation in the area. It was called the Middle East for a reason. Every like all the major civilizations were in that area. So what I had to do when I was making my story was tell the story about the Middle East from the Egyptian perspective, right? I was like, I'm following these characters, but it's not like I'm just going to avoid the fact that other nations exist. You know what I'm saying? And I love the way, even though I don't believe anything they say about the ancient alien theory, right? I love the way they tell narratives. They're really good storytellers, right? So I was like, I'm gonna make my own version of the mythos, right? But I'm not gonna make my our people's gods, right? Aliens, right? They're humans, right? Really powerful humans, but humans, right? And the other gods, the other worldly gods, are like ruining the world, right? Or they rule the world, and now we have to fight them, right? And a whole bunch of people besides us are fighting them, And I thought it would be pretty dope.
Yes, it actually is because I actually sat back and watched some of the episodes you did recently, and they're really good, all of them. Um, our next question is, what's your favorite part of your story?
Well, my favorite part of the story would probably be the war between Sparta and Minoa. Like, like that's a pretty dope thing because it's all political. Like, they really don't have. There's no real advantage for them going to war, other than the fact that they can't stand each other politically, right? It's like they have much bigger fish to fry, but they can't stand each other because of the ideology that they have. Minoans are a matriarch society, right? So women rule, right? That's actually
Hmm.
historically correct, right? But they
Wow.
were Greek. They were Greeks, but they just like their society worked that way. And the Sparta, heavily male oriented society. The Spartans think there's no peace with the ancients, right? The Titans. The Minoans think that some Titans are good, very bad, It's a very bad message when you're dealing with Spartans. Like, yeah, it's like, no, all the gods have to die. They're like, nah, actually, we can work with them. Huge problem, right? PR
Mhm.
nightmare if you're a Spartan, right? You're a Spartan and you're trying to recruit the world to fight Titans, and then there's other people like, no, they're actually some good Titans. They're like, it's like you messing up a lot more than just yo people's minds. You messing up a lot of people who could be our allies. They flaking because of y'all ideas, right? So it's a political, ideological war between the two, and I love that. Like the Egyptians get pulled into that crap, right? And they don't even have favorites because Ra's on Sparta's side, right?
Dang.
Like Ra's like, the ancients need to die. I'm with them, right? But at the same time, I know it's always been their ally over a long time, so it's very complicated.
It did. This is not the last question, but I'm about to ask you, what are your future plans for your franchise?
Well, we are doing so many big things this year. It's crazy. So I don't even want to go too far into the future because I think this year is so critical and has so many major things being released that there's no point in going past this year when we're talking about future plans. So this year we're trying to hit $2 million in sales, and we're doing very
Ooh.
good so far. Right now we're starting to fix our ads so we can get 200,000 a month. Right, we're currently at about 110,000 a month in sales. We want to get to 200,000, so we could do that. If we get that by April, we hit our 2 million in a year. If we can, like, I got to do some adjusting to get it up there, right? But we could do it, right? And I want to get that. That's physical books. Our app comes out sometime late February. We're testing it right now. We got a whole bunch of creators on there, 30 different creators signed up for the app. So we have like 450 episodes of,
Wow.
of black comic books, webtoon style, for the app. So that's huge. We
Whoa.
want to have maybe a couple 100,000 users on there by the end of April. We want to. You're about to see the craziest. You will not be able to avoid our ads on Facebook or Instagram. You won't be able to avoid them. It's gonna be like a blitz. You're really gonna be like, it's gonna be unfathomable the amount of influence we're about to throw out there. And then our show for Black Sands Seven Kingdoms will be coming out in the summer,
Ooh.
right?
Oh,
So we're going to
yes.
see the first time we're ever going to see the final product. So what happens is we've been developing for a while, but it's a completely different feel from the stuff you've seen before. So it's 3D, but looks like League of Legends. So if you ever seen like the League of Legends ridiculously
Mhm.
high-end animations they do nowadays, it looks exactly like that, but with Black Sands, right? And you're going to see the final product, the actual product that you're going to get if we do the entire season. That's how it's going to look, right? And when we're done with that, we're going to raise about $30 million to fully fund the entire season of Black Sands, and make
Wow.
the fans the owners of the show. So they own the show,
Wow.
not Hollywood, right? And because we developed it ourselves with our own studio, not outsourced, that our budget is sound because it's us. When you hire somebody else, the numbers go crazy. You might cost this much, might cost that much. They might fall out a year from now, right? And then numbers are very erratic. When it's your studio, you decide how much you're gonna pay somebody for X, Y, and Z. Period. Right? No overhead because you're the company, right? And more importantly, after we make it and we sell it to our customers, we can resell it to someone like Netflix. Like, hey, you want to distribute this for 6 months? And they'll be like, yeah, we'll pay you $5 million to show it for 6 months. I'm like, okay, here you go. Have fun, right? But I don't lose a day. I don't
Wow.
lose any ownership. They just get to use it for like 6 months. Meanwhile, our sales in our company will continue to grow rapidly by seeing a new audience on Netflix. So the idea is own as much as you can while doing massive play, right? And hopefully, a whole bunch of black people win in the process because y'all all tied to me. Yeah, you get when you own stock and you own a piece of the license, right? Win or lose, we all in it together at this point, right? It's not like you fund me and I'll let you make decisions. Like I never liked that idea. Fund me and you can make decisions. Like decisions ain't returns, right? So it's like I'm like this. fund me. You have absolutely no decision making power. But if I win, you gonna win just as much. Period. No, like, okay, I can live with that deal. Let him do his thing, right? And we'll see, man. Who knows? I hope a whole bunch of people can buy houses off of the freaking Black Sands, the Seven Kingdoms IP. I would love that.
I think so. Because that's a good thing. Because you made me think about like Spider-Man one with Tobey Maguire with Norma Osborn and Oscorp, and he made the dumbest decision. He gave all his board all the power, and they literally booted him out of his own company, which is crazy. Um, but what's
Good
your favorite?
example too. That's a good example too. Yeah, you can't. That's why I don't give nobody voting rights. It's like you can have stock, but 100% voting rights go to me. I can't have nobody messing up the plan. The plan is aggressive, and it's going to be scary for some people. I am like the GME, right? I'm the GameStop shares of the Black community, right? There's going to be a lot of propaganda out there to scare people away from what we're about to do, right? And hold the line. Don't sell. It's like you just gotta run with it and just believe that it's going to work because we have exceptional product. If you can do that, we're gonna win. If you think that we should do a deal with Netflix, we're most likely gonna lose. We gotta hold still, develop the properties ourselves with the highest level production possible so that they can't even compare it to anything. That's the most important part about this too, is that I've always been the Gucci of the the Black comic books in general. The hardcovers are the most ridiculous quality you ever seen. Like, it's library bound hardcover books. The pages are heavy as shit, right? It's like it's the Gucci of Black comic books. And even though it's expensive, right? That's not a cheap book. Right? It's like, that's not a cheap book. And even though it's expensive, right? I sell more books than everybody else. That doesn't make any sense because everybody says Black community don't have money, they don't support Black, all that stuff. I said, nah, just make ridiculously exceptional products and they'll support you. Right? It's like everybody's coming in on that baseline stuff, and you're like, nah, make the top 5 best animated animations of all time, right? And then put Black on it, and you'll box off, like, you'll blow the box office away, right? But you got to make sure that you're actually giving high quality productions. You got to do them Jordan Peele horrors, where it's like, this is a horror movie. You're like, this is a good, high quality, good effects horror movie. This ain't no cheap shit, right? This ain't right. It's like, and what happens? Jordan Peele keep eating, right? He ain't got no problems. I love that guy. Right? Everybody likes Tyler Perry. I like Jordan Peele. That dude.
I like him too.
Like, he's good. He makes a lot of money. He does it independently. He don't need nobody to cut him no check to do it. Right? He's learned how to just do it without nobody telling him what to do. Got to give that man power for what he got.
Yes, sir. So what's your favorite anime since you said you're an anime head?
Berserk.
Oh man, I haven't really got into it all the way. I watch videos about it, and they only have movie arcs about it. Unfortunately, on Netflix, they don't have a full-fledged anime series because it's too long. It's too long to do that. Like, that's why they actually did One Piece and movies. I could probably watch it. I can't. I don't feel like watching.
The problem with Berserk is that they spend at least 14 hours getting you to love people, only to make you like hate the world, right? So it's like you really get vested in, yes, what a great, I love this story, and then it all goes to hell. It's like it's easily the most horrific storyline of a hero's journey I've ever seen created. Right? It's a real hero's journey. Like, this is sacrifice, and you gotta respect it. You just gotta respect it. Like wow, dude, we do a lot of dumb shit just to exist, to still live. It's crazy. Like suicide, bro. Just do it. Just do it. Like, you're like, bro, just fall on the sword, man. You good. You did enough. Just fall on the sword. You good, man. And this guy keeps going on, and you just can't help but be like you feel the pain. Like this sucks for this dude, right? And anybody who knows that about me knows that that's why Black Sands is built different, right? It's like this ain't no Shonen Jump where characters do all these things that are like that you well he's a kid so he should totally like be nice to his enemies. It's like nah, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him quick, right? Because they're his enemies. It's like no logic behind figuring out what the hell was the reason why they became a bad guy. They're bad. Kill them. Next case. It's like a star is not going to play. He's going to take injuries that will never recover from. That's just the way life is. Sometimes you lose an eye. Just happens. It's like they don't ever want to hurt their characters permanently. Like, oh no, I can't do that. Like, yo, is he in a dangerous job or what? This dude demon slaying and he ain't lose nothing? He said you gonna have to lose something eventually. Give him some character. Knock off a couple of fingers. Do something. Right? Give him some character.
I agree with you on that because like you're right. Then like in Marvel they do that for 5 seconds, like you said, for 5 seconds, like they died, bro. They died, and then magically 10 issues later they come back. I'm like I didn't even know at the end of Civil War that Captain America actually got shot in the head. I was like, wait, what? Did it just end like that? Dang. I don't even know.
I'm just a big believer in real stakes, especially since it's historical, right? It has like a historical tone to it. So, you gotta at least follow a little bit of the story, You said this ain't no fairy tale ending. it's like stuff ends very terribly for a lot of these characters, and it will. And it's just the way it is. What's the number one anime in the world right now? Attack on Titans.
Yeah, they ended terribly.
Nobody happy about Attack on Titans, but they can't stop watching. They're like, I don't want to watch another episode. You'd be like, oh man, I hope nobody I love dies the next episode. Please don't please don't do this to me. Don't do it. Right? But it's true though. You can't help it. You gotta watch it. But man, it hurts. It hurts. You're like, oh man, no, why him? Why did they have to lose him? Right? In a horrible way too. It's not even like a really heroic. Sometimes it's not a heroic death at all. It's like a very sad and demoralizing death. Right? Everybody's like always in every other like in shonens when they die, they always die a heroic death. Like I'm fighting against 7 dudes and I won't give up even when I have 17,000 daggers in me. I'll still somehow complete my mission by sending a hawk or something. Right? My heart, right? Like it is super heroic death, right? They're like, all right, this guy's been like the best commander for at least 13 episodes. He's been kicking ass. Let's have him get manhandled by 17 different small titans. So they take really small bites as they rip him to shreds. And have him scared out of his mind. So he doesn't even have like a heroic like victory, like death or something like he's screaming the entire time he's being consumed. You're like the worst possible death. It's like man, like that's like something that messes with you, man. It's like that's why everybody loved Game of Thrones before they eventually like before they ran out of scripts. Every scene was like, oh my god,
you're dead. No,
really? Like he didn't have to die that way. I was literally the sentence. He didn't have to die that way, man. Why couldn't he just die on the battlefield? Why he had to die that way? Why he had to die that way? It's like they want to make you understand. It's like just turn to the next. That'll always make people super fans, right? People think, oh, if you do that, you're gonna lose. He said, people are super fans when they don't know what the hell's gonna happen next. That's when they become super fans. They don't become super fans by knowing that the main character is always going to turn into a freaking demon fox, right? It's like, oh well, he lost the fight, so I guess it's time. he'll save the day. Demon Fox mode. Again,
Speaking of that,
right?
Boruto in the Boruto manga, sorry this is for about this little spoiler, but Naruto's in a situation you just talked about. He's literally stuck in this zone where he can't turn nine tails, he can't use his chakra. The dude's telling, I'm about to go get your son and use him as my vessel. I'm gonna go get this other boy you raised. And he basically just making Naruto sit there like in mental anguish right now, and he can't do anything. And then he got him. You remember the things that Pain used, them chakra stealers? He got him stuck on them things, and he can't even move. I feel bad for Naruto right.
But the one thing I do mention is this though. Wait, look at all the crap they had to do just to hurt him. look at all the stuff they got to do to Naruto to have a chance. Right? It's like you gotta use chakra blocking super techniques from Rasengan, from like eighth bridge, like chakra level abilities just to be able to make these things, and you got to do all these things just to have a chance, right? And I just thought that the reason why everybody had a main character who wasn't Naruto until Shippuden was the simple fact that Naruto would be saved by plot armor every 5 seconds, so nobody respected him. That's why everybody was like, oh, I love Rock Lee. Oh, I love Neji. Oh, I love Gaara. Because they ain't got the plot armor. He said when they win, they were winning by the bare skin of their teeth, and they usually couldn't fight anymore. I don't ever remember a time when Naruto couldn't fight anymore. Oh, I used all my chakra. Oh, the number one rule of the ninja: don't use all your chakra. Oh, well, okay, because then you're gonna die. Okay. Hey, Naruto, how about you use all your chakra every fight? It'll make you better. Like, what? That's the whole ninja code. The ninja code says a ninja without chakra is a dead ninja. Number one, right? Hey,
they finally
don't get stabbed to death, because if you get stabbed to death, you'll die. Time to instantly heal. Right? God damn it! Right? Like, whatever you do, don't lose consciousness. Oh, I lost consciousness. Now I'm in Super Saiyan form. It's like everything about him was irritating. Couldn't win. Like if I was a villain, I'd be so pissed, because I'm like, how the fuck do you beat this guy? Even Orochimaru was like, I can't stand this kid. I don't understand what to do with him. Right? Like Orochimaru was literally losing his mind about what the hell to do about Naruto. Right? It's like how do we beat him? How do we beat Naruto? He's like, it's like nothing he could do to stop this kid, right? And he's Orochimaru, overpowered as hell, like dumb overpowered, and he can't figure out how to beat him. The real reason why Sasuke became a bad guy was because Naruto was so overpowered.
Yes, after he learned Rasengan,
like all these games I'm doing, and I can't beat Naruto. I can't beat this kid. And reality was he couldn't beat him because he had to beat Kurama, and then he had to beat the fifth sage, and then he had to beat his mother, who was also in there with the chains. He didn't know he had to beat him, but if he ever got that far in, eventually she would come out and also fight for him. It's like so many things there's so many things you have to beat in order to beat Naruto. It's like, but at least in in Shippuden, eventually we start seeing him build like a repertoire of cool moves and skills that allowed you to start liking him. Like when he started doing crazy ass Rasengan, you were like,
right,
skill. That takes skill. I like that. Oh, Toad Sage mode? That takes skill. I like that. And all of a sudden you start liking him. You're just like the village now. Hey, Naruto, you're actually cool, right? They start clapping for him, right? Because he's actually using skills. That's literally the time where we start seeing that, yo, this dude is actually pretty lit. But before that, it's like, yo, Rock Lee, boy. Oh, man, I can't wait to see Rock Lee next time. Oh, Sasuke, look how much he trained. That nigga crazy now. But, he had to train with Orochimaru for like 30 years. Oh, Sasuke. Oh, look at what's in there. You just nonstop fanboying for everyone else except for the main dude. It's like, what? I think that's the only show that it's like that, too. No other show is even close to that kind of everybody else love with everybody in the show except for Naruto for a whole arc, like a whole like half of the entire like 200 episodes, and you could care less about Naruto, right? The only show, every other show, the main character is the dude, right? How long did it take for Black Clover fans to love the main dude? At first, we were like, man, he
Five
screams so
seconds.
much. Right? Like he screams so much. He's such a loser. Then all of a sudden you start seeing he got no chill. Like when he like every 5 seconds you start realizing, yo, this dude got no chill. He don't have no like problems with geek problems, right? Like, oh, hey, I promise I'll never do this again. And he'd be like, all right, well take this sword anyway. Boom, right? He's like, you can tell the cops when they pick your ass up, but you ain't getting up from right now. And you're like, yo, he's like, he might be stupid, but he's not stupid. He's not street stupid. Right in the streets, he's like, I'm gonna finish this fight. Don't worry. He said, you can go and talk to the authorities later, but this fight ends now. Right? It's like we ain't gonna talk. I ain't gonna care about your dreams and passions. And you started really liking him. Like he got some gangster in him, and a whole bunch of other shonen the same way. Demon Slayers. He kills people. He kills demons. He might feel bad about them afterwards, but the whole point is he ends them. Ends them on day one, on site, right? Right? It's like so, I just feel like, like there was some narrative problems at the beginning. They fixed it out over time. But there was some narrative problems at the beginning, and we don't do that in Black Sands. Right? We say Asar is a real kid that's under a pharaoh. Right? We got to get you to understand that as fast as possible. That means he can't be no innocent little kid. His grandfather is the goddamn pharaoh, and the pharaoh is absolute. So if you don't see that absolute authority from Asar, we failed as storytellers.
I have to wonder, because I feel like I know that he's having conflict with what his father is saying, that he needs to be like a peaceful ruler, and what his grandfather is saying, like that you need to be strict. And I feel like he's gonna eventually have to fight his grandfather one day, which is probably not gonna end well. He might win, but like you say, he's gonna probably be halfway dead.
And we don't know what's gonna happen. No, Ra is my favorite character. To me, Ra is the most like me person in the entire series. The spitting image of my mentality. Right? Do what you gotta do in order to get order. Right? Get order and do what's best for everyone. At the end of the day, he's the hero of the story, but he's not going to act heroic, right? Right? The idea, Batman, be the hero that they need, not what they want, right? You can't be the PR guy that everybody's like, oh yeah, he's such a nice guy. Look how he walks the lady across the street. It's like, no, I'm just going to kill bad guys. Right? I'm just gonna kill bad guys. That's my job, right? It's like I'm gonna do that, So that's Raw, right? And he does what he has to do, and sometimes it's bad calls, sometimes it's good calls, right? But he don't back off it. He don't, I regret doing this or regret doing that. He's like, look, I got stuff to do. I can't regret. I got to move forward.
Yep. And that's the same way they got operate. He like, I gotta do what I gotta do. Here you go. This your instruction manual. Not really. Your instructions along the way. There's a little science. Um, but personally, I know people probably ask you this, and I think I know who it is, but I'm just gonna ask: who's your favorite character in your series personally?
No, it's definitely Raw. So
Right.
yeah, Raw is my favorite character. It originally started with his story. We pivoted for marketing purposes, right, to the kids, right, because that was more of a shonen thing. Like, everything hot right now was, kids starting off as kids and maybe eventually turning to adults, right? So we were like, where are some kids in our story, right? So I had to jump a couple generations, right, to get to the kids we have today, right? But it originally started with Rob when he was young, right, like a teenager, and pretty brutal story, But we'll eventually get back there again, right? But right now, we're focusing on the adults. But Rob's story is crazy. It has a lot of tragedy in it, a lot of tragedy.
I gotta buy your Black Pharaoh book because that's part of his story. I gotta buy that one.
Yeah, first Pharaoh. Yep, that's a part of his early life. Yep.
And I like how you doing that because I be liking the backstories. Like one anime that I like because like you was talking about no plot armor barely. Ichigo, honestly, in the beginning, he had plot. And he really no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He did not have plot armor really because the moment Byakuya came, he was like, he just cut him and he couldn't even get up. When he fought Kenpachi, it was a standstill. He finally didn't become OG until he unlocked Bankai, and then he went crazy and he turned that off. He's like, no plot armor there, and then he finally
Yeah,
beat.
let him lose. What's wrong with losing?
Right.
Right? What's wrong with losing? You don't have to win every freaking fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just lose every now and then. It's not a problem. That's probably why I like Black Cobra a lot, because dude loses. He sometimes just has no ability to deal with the situation, and somebody else got to save the day. Right? It's like, I don't know how to fight this thing. And it's like, oh, right, I'll do it. Right? Like other characters have to actually, pull their weight. And I love that stuff. I love when they just can't do everything themselves. Right? Just can't. No matter how OP they get, they still can't do everything themselves. You can't tell me that Naruto can't solo every single thing in Boruto up to the point where you're saying he finally gets like cheese to death, right? But it's like before that, he could have easily soloed everything, like effortlessly too. He's never trying throughout the entire season. Throughout the entire season of Boruto, he is not trying at all anywhere. He's like, yeah, I guess we can, knock some of this rust off, Sasuke. All right, let's go and try to knock some of this rust off, right? It's like, and Sasuke is underpowered compared to him. Sasuke is strong as shit and still nowhere near as powerful as Naruto is right now.
Right. Because
he's on God mode right now, like straight up God mode. Like he would beat the shit out of Superman. Like the dude is like the fact that he can give his ridiculously overpowered abilities to other people.
Oh, well.
It's like a whole nother level of OPness. It's like I'm so OP, everybody around me is OP.
Yeah, you want to be Kurama real quick? Sure, you can be Kurama here.
Yeah, you can use 17,000 shadow jutsus each. Like shit, man, this guy's overpowered as fuck. It's like he's literally stopping people from disintegrating from opening 8 gates. Like he can stop somebody from dying from opening all eight gates. It's like when he saved Hongo, it's like he literally put another soul in that nigga. Like he ain't having no. He burnt his soul out, and he gave him, yo, bro, I got you, man. Here's another soul, man. Here's another soul. Here's another set of eternity. Here you go, bro. I got you. Man. I know the way I explain it makes it sound so terrible, right?
No, it's not terrible. No, that's my God.
I love the show. I love the show to death. This is why, I criticize things in a way like a comedian would criticize it, right? Like if you really analyze it, you'd be like, this is absurdly overpowered. It's like dude can put a soul in somebody. Like, you know what? I understand. You kind of opened all 8 gates. Your body's supposed to disintegrate into nothing because you literally used you didn't even lose all your chakra. You literally used the very essence of your life. But here's another one. Hang in there, buddy. We got
and you. And then Sasuke and him at the end was ridiculous. Like we was talking about Naruto was so strong at the end when they both at their most OP and they sitting there fighting to the point where you see their chakra turn black and then their arm falls off and they like, I'm gonna still fight. I'm like, bro, sit down. You can't even fight no more. And then Sasuke stood behind finally was like, I finally understand Naruto. You're my friend. He's like, I've been trying to tell you that.
I've been doing talk no jutsu for fucking years. How you finally gonna fall for it now?
And I have to ask you, do you know about any other black anime or manga creators? Oh man.
Well, of course. The best way though is just wait for the app to come out and then just figure out which ones you like, because all
Okay.
their contact information is on there and everything, so you'll be able to hit them up directly when they, once their page is up, and some of them do manga, right? Most do comics, but it's not really comics because they're not like American comic books, right? They're all story driven. They say I hate American comic book because they all they do is like they're very episodic. Like there's no real storyline to them. It's more like this is in the Batman universe, right? Like you don't really like get a story from like hey season one like issue 1 to issue 24 is like one narrative arc. It's usually like episodes, right? Individual episodes. So I'm a big believer in that kind of storytelling, which is why almost all the creators I've signed tell like long narratives. So you'll like it.
Yep. And then it's this one. I don't know if you know him, but like I got his book. It's just a soccer anime. It's futsal. I think it's just a Japanese version of soccer. It's pretty nice. He actually literally inserted Michael Jackson in there. Like, and then he had it where the young black man he was struggling. Like he actually had an eviction notice. He basically got back in school to kind of get his mind off of that stuff and not end up evicted and all that. And then it's called Odd Times Foot because eventually this other girl that works in music she can't focus because she's trying to focus on music and soccer at the same time, and it ain't working. And so the guy, main character, Dayude, he basically is like the feet, and then she's gonna be the eyeballs for him to be able to see when his opponents are like right there by him, so that way they can become the ultimate team. And it might get to the point I don't know like what his plans are,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems like a pretty good story right now. But he's just starting out. And then the other company, you probably heard of them. They just came out. They might be on your catalog. Herb Anime. They are a new company who just started like a black kind of manga style comic book where they're gonna be telling, like you said, like black stories, and it's gonna be like black experience combined with anime and comic book format. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
gonna be something kind of like what you're doing already. I pre-ordered one of their books already. I only got one so far. But yeah. But I'd definitely be checking out your apps. And you said that's coming at the end of February. Because I
Yeah.
definitely want to be able to support all those black artists and support you.
All right. Well, we're good to go then, man.
Yes, sir.
I hope this was a
Well,
great interview for you, boss.
it was. It really was. Because we got to geek out and talk about your comics and talk about anime and all of that stuff. It was cool.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and let you go and do what you were doing. And thank you so much for joining and coming to support. And
Yeah,
you have
absolutely.
a good day.
All right, you too, bro.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching.